Everybody always says or asks, when's the best time to buy, or when's the best time to sell? And I always go back to, well, when is the best time for you?
Thank you for joining us this week on Midlow Connect. I'm Justin Atterbury with Guild Mortgage.
I'm Audra Fowler with Rose Gold Realty Team.
As you can tell, we are in a different setup than what we normally do. And a lot of that is because we are receiving questions about this particular real estate market, yes?
We are, yes.
So a lot of questions around, are we in a housing bubble? Are we going to see another crash? What's going to happen with interest rates? We keep hearing about the Fed's going to cut rates. Is this going to happen? So what we'd like to do is come in every so often and address these questions.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about this NAR settlement. So there's a lot of information out there.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, the media, which 99.9% of the time gets it all wrong,
right,
and spins it and twists it.
Right.
So can you help us understand what the settlement says,
mm-hmm.
and are there, if any, what the changes are?
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, we're all navigating through this. The changes that have come down from NAR, we basically just need to be more transparent in, having those conversations with both our seller and our buyer. Whereas before, we would see most of the time the listing agent advocating more on behalf of the buyer's agent as far as what their commission payout would be. Whereas now on the buyer's agent side, you have to be able to show that value to your buyer. You have to be able to explain, which there is great value in having an agent represent you.
So dive into that.
Yes.
Like help us understand the value. Like, I know what you're saying,
mm-hmm.
especially when you say something of value, right? But again, I've been doing this for 17
right.
years. I know the value. Like, help us understand that.
Yes.
Like, yeah.
So the value of having a buyer's agent with you, you are protected, especially if you're a first-time home buyer. He or she will help you with negotiating any repairs, scheduling that home inspection, making sure that there's no major defects. Negotiating anything that you may feel uncomfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
If there are any major deficiencies that come back, on a home inspection, managing timelines that protect you. There's several timelines within the contract that protect you as a buyer, and being able to explain that to you and guide you through that, so that if something does happen during the transaction, you're not left out. There are certain timelines within the contract that your agent will be able to explain to you, help guide you through, that protect you in the sense of not losing your money,
right.
And could potentially protect you, against legal liabilities.
Yeah.
Again, there's several factors that a buyer's agent contributes to the transaction. First and foremost, we've been in, I've been in the industry long enough. I've been able to weed out the good and the bad, right?
Right.
So I know, the great lenders to work with. Of course, you're one of my preferred lenders. So that first and foremost. Second, and of course, buyers can use whatever lender
right
that they choose. We, just as my experience, I'm able to,
right. You want to let them know, hey, this person's really good with X, this one's good with this one,
right.
and this one does really well with this, whatever that situation is.
Right.
Like going back to what we were talking about just a moment ago with the creative options.
Mm-hmm.
We call those non-QM.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you can say, hey, this person's really good. Like if you need to do a bank statement loan or 1099, like this person's really good with it. And this person's really good with asset depletion. Like you really should work with this person, or at least have that conversation with them.
And same thing with home inspectors.
100%.
Yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
we've both seen some really good ones and some really bad ones.
yes. So, same thing. I can
Yeah.
recommend some very, very thorough, stand up, home inspectors that do a phenomenal job. And also builders. If you're looking for a new construction home, I know some great builders, and I know some not so great.
Some cheap new builds that you
Yes.
don't want to.
You
You
do
do
not-
not want to go down
You
that
don't
road.
want that headache.
No.
So yes, there's lots of value of negotiating things in your favor, such as price, credits toward your closing costs.
Yeah.
We just have the knowledge and that experience to kind of navigate, through that with you. So yeah, there's lots of value.
Yeah. And I agree with you, and I want the audience to hear that, because when I hear value, like, I know what you're saying, but then sometimes we have to lay that out. So we say, hey, oh man, like, again, option period, timeline,
Yes,
financing contingency,
yes,
all these sort of things that it's like, what I normally tell people is, like, you should always hire, if you're buying a house, selling a house, unless you are a real estate agent yourself, you should always hire a realtor. It's the same reason that if the plumbing in my house goes out, a pipe bursts, I am not going to tackle that job.
Right.
It'll be like Tim the Toolman Taylor. I'm
Right.
going to make it 1,000 times worse.
Right.
So I hire a plumber.
Right.
Hey, come
it's
fix
the
this.
biggest investment of your lifetime. Why
Right.
would you not want to hire a professional to walk you through that
Agreed.
and to protect you, help protect you through that?
Yeah. So one more thing. So let's circle back around for just a moment, talk about interest rates, but in a different way. Because we also just talked about new builds. Some builders are far better than others, and some of them are just plain bad. Right. Now, for obvious reasons, right now we can't say that.
Yes.
Even though we want to.
Yes.
We can't. Pretty much a lot of builders are giving away $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. And they'll say, oh, you can use this to buy down your rate, get a 5.5% rate. So let me ask you this, because you have a prior mortgage background. If they're going with a builder that we know is not a good builder, and it's not just going to be a headache, the house is not going to be that great. Like, it's going to look pretty, right? But we know it's got some issues, because that's their track record. Is it still worth it to get that, $20,000 to buy down a 5.5% rate?
Absolutely not, because you are going to put in that 15, 20,000, whatever they're giving you. You're going to end up putting that into the home when deficiencies arise. So, when things start to break down, or you're starting to see cosmetic things. Now, granted, there is normally a builder's bonded warranty, but again, that goes back to who's the builder, and are they going to honor that?
We've seen that get tied up in court many times.
Yes.
And I want to be clear that what we're not saying is that builders are horrible. Because there are some very, very, very good ones.
Absolutely.
They are wonderful to work with. They build beautiful homes that are sturdy, that are sound, that you're going to be safe in. Flip side is that there are some really bad ones. And that's the benefit that buyers and sellers get when they do work with you.
Absolutely.
Is you've done the legwork on their behalf.
Yeah. Just like, it really boils down to, does the builder have the client's best interest first and foremost, or do they have their interest first and foremost? There are some really, really great builders that truly focus on the value, on the quality of their build, because they put the client first. Just like, with real estate agents, like you said, just like with loan officers, if you are putting your client first, it always works out the way.
Okay, so I'm going to ask one more question, but I'm going to make a statement first and then ask you the question. I think that as a whole, loan officers and realtors, I think in the last year and a half, we've done a little bit of disservice around interest rates. Okay, and here's kind of what I'm getting at is, we kept telling people rates are going to come down, rates are going to come down, it's okay, buy right now, rates are going to come down. Well, I think what has happened is the message has gotten out there that rates are going to come down. Therefore, I'm going to wait to buy when rates come down, right? And that's what I'm saying. I think we've done a disservice because as we've seen, like there's been so many reports that have come out, like economic reports that were supposed to help rates get better.
Yeah.
They came out the way that they were supposed to, and rates did not get better.
Right.
Now, the Fed, let's take the Fed as an example. Early this year, it was projected 4 Fed rate cuts. It is down to 1.
Yeah.
Once this year. Okay. So, do I think rates are going to come down? Yes. Are we talked about this a little bit ago. Are they going to come down to 2 and 3? No. Okay. I really think, and I really wish I had a crystal ball.
Yeah.
If I had a crystal ball, I'd be a very rich person.
Yeah, right.
But what I think is that we're probably 2 years away from seeing rates hit that mid-low 5. Okay. I would love to be wrong. But I think we're seeing a leveling out of what is actually normal for interest rates. And I say historically normal. Okay. 6% in the 6s, that's normal.
Yeah.
We don't like it because we spent the last 15 years with rates below 5% for the most part.
Right.
But this is actually kind of normal. So with that being stated, and let's say that through the rest of this year, interest rates level off around 6.25%. Knowing that we do still think that rates can come down, it might be 2 years down the road. What would you say to someone who wants to buy a house today, but wants to also wait for rates to come down?
Yeah, absolutely not.
Why?
That's the short answer. So waiting for interest rates to come down first, as soon as we see even the slight touch of a 5% interest rate, we will see buyers flooding the market again.
Yeah.
And we will be right back into a crazy multiple offer situation.
Because we don't have enough inventory.
Right.
Yeah.
Because again, just 1 point down, you'll start to see.
Yeah.
And yes, like you said, the inventory, we have low inventory right now. We still have a high demand. So with that being said, not only because it is inevitable, real estate, no matter what's going on in the market, longevity of investing in real estate, you will see go up.
Right.
So we will see home values continue to go up over time. So not only will you have home prices go up, but now you have an interest rate that has dropped down some. The home value is now slightly up from this year, and you have more buyers in the market bidding over again.
So it's going to be harder to get that house.
Yes.
If you do get the house, the payment is actually going to be higher.
Absolutely.
Even with the lower rate, because the value that $400,000 house is now $435,000.
Absolutely. Yeah. You get in when you can. Now, of course, everybody always says or asks, when's the best time to buy? Or when's the best time to sell? And I always go back to, well, when is the best time for you?
Right.
Because regardless of what's going on in the market, first and foremost, we need to decide, is it right for you?
I like that you said that, because I'll tell you what I normally hear, and you've probably heard it too. When's the best time to buy? Right now. When's the best time to sell? Right now.
Yeah.
Right. But that's not always true.
Right. Now,
like
I can tell you,
yes, they are ready.
Exactly. Yes. Because I can give you all the factors of what's going on and what could happen. Right. For instance, you said that you believe in a couple of years, you may see, interest rates coming down. But I actually believe that we'll see that sooner than that. But you see what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, there's different professionals that, interpret the information that we get in different ways.
And I would love to be wrong and for you to be right.
Yeah. But I mean, even with that being said, I mean, if you speak to one professional that has just as much experience that I do, or just as much experience as you do, they may give you slightly different pointers, right? Um, it's all about, advocating for the client.
Yeah.
This is what I'm seeing. Here's the information. Here's the black and white. Are you ready?
Exactly.
Now let's drill down and see, where are your finances? What are your goals?
Right.
Did you get a job offer somewhere else, in another town, in another state? Do you have to make that move right now? Can you wait to make that move? There's lots of factors that play into that. So first and foremost, we need to have the discussion, is it the right time for you?
Right.
And then we can talk about, let's look at the market.
And that's why, and I'm going to put you on the spot here, but that's why I love it when clients get to work with you, because you make it about them.
Yes, absolutely.
Like we know how we get paid. Like we're fully aware, but that is not a determinant when working with you. It's yes, I would love for you to buy right now. I'd love for you to sell right now. But if that's not the right time, then we wait.
Right.
And we wait until it's the right time for you, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer Seller.
Right. Because you and I know in the market, we study the market.
Right.
We're in the market. We're doing this each and every day. So yes, it's very easy for us to say, well, we know what home values are going to look like in a couple of years. We know that when interest rates drop a little bit, we're going to see multiple offers again.
It's going to be a massive influx.
Yes, we can say that. And we can say, hey, get in as soon as you can get in, in. But at the end of the day, we have to make sure, is it right? Is it the right time?
And that's
for your client.
Exactly. That's like what I tell my clients every time. Like anytime I'm working up, a mortgage deal for them, right? I try to always give options, and I say this verbatim every time. I'm going to give you, as long as there are at least, 2 options, right? Like a minimum of 2. Sometimes I only have 1 option.
Yeah.
But is I'm going to give you options, because at the end of the day, this is not my mortgage. It is your mortgage. I want you to be comfortable with the decision that you make.
Absolutely.
Right? Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I'm Justin Atterbury with Guild Mortgage.
I'm Audra Fowler with Rose Gold Realty Team.
Happy birthday month.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.